The clock is quiet, barely breathing. 3:17, close soft on the wall. I lie here counting the spaces between heartbeats, expecting the ache to rise and swallow it all. But tonight, it doesn't come rushing like it used to. The knife in my chest is dull to a bruise. I wait for the wave, arms open and ready. It arrives and it's smaller than yesterday's news. The night didn't hurt as much as the nights before. I thought the dark would finish me, but it left me on the floor, still breathing, still bleeding, but softer than before. The night didn't hurt as much, and I don't know what that's for. The sheets still carry your outline, a ghost made of cotton and cold. I trace it with fingers that don't shake quite so hard now. The silence feels less like a scold. I replay the leaving in lower volume. The words don't echo the same. They land on the carpet and stay there without setting fire to my name. The night didn't hurt as much as the nights before. I thought the dark would finish me, but it knocked on a quieter door. Still open, still hoping, but lighter than before. The night didn't hurt as much, and I'm scared to ask for more. It's not that you're gone from my body, it's just that the missing grew tired. It curled up beside me like an old dog inside instead of cried. Maybe tomorrow the hurting returns, sharper, louder, brand new. But tonight is a whisper, a faint little murmur, and I almost feel grateful it's true. The night didn't hurt as much as the nights I survived. I'm still in the wreckage, still counting the damage, but something in me stayed alive. Still tender, still mending, a little less torn. The night didn't hurt as much, and morning feels less like a war. I close my eyes, the dark holds me gently for once, for once. A flash of your laugh in the grocery aisle, the scent of rain on your jacket, and my chest tightened like it always does for a while. I felt the old spiral start toward the bottom, the ache in my throat. But this time I noticed the air in the room, and I let it carry me slow like a boat. I didn't fight it, I didn't feed it, I just stayed inside my skin. Let the memory rise like smoke and breathe it out again. I breathe through the memory, in and out, steady and slow. Didn't drown in the feeling, just let it come, let it go. For the first time it passed through me, like wind through an open door. I breathe through the memory, and it didn't own me anymore. Your voice in my head at the red light, saying my name the way only you could. The hurt tried to settle in familiar places, but I kept the rhythm soft like I knew I should. 4 counts and hold for a moment, 4 counts out gentle and long. The wave crested higher than yesterday, but it broke and I stayed calm. I didn't chase it, I didn't name it, I just watched it move through, like clouds in a quiet sky, changing shape but still blue. I breathe through the memory, in and out, steady and slow. Didn't drown in the feeling, just let it come, let it go. It lingered a little longer and drifted out on its own. I breathe through the memory, and I wasn't alone. It's not that the love disappeared or the loss became small. It's just that I learned how to hold it without letting it hold me at all. I breathe through the memory, in and out, steady and slow. The heart still remembers, but it knows how to let go. One breath at a time, I'm learning how to carry what's mine. I breathe through the memory, and the air still feels like time. Out, it passes, I stay. I stay. I saw it today on a coffee shop board, written in chalk by somebody else's hand. White letters looping the same 4 syllables. The ones I used to avoid like broken land. My pulse didn't race, my lungs didn't fold. I stood in the line like a regular soul. Ordered a medium dark, no room for cream. And the world didn't pause, didn't crack, didn't scream. It used to be lightning, a name like a trigger, one sound and I'm back on the floor. But something has shifted, the wire's been cut, and the shock doesn't reach me anymore. Your name no longer stops me. It floats through the air and moves on. It lands for a second, then quietly leaves like a stranger I once depended upon. I hear it, I feel it, a soft little echo. Then it fades like a song I outgrew. Your name no longer stops me, and I'm learning what that means for me too. A friend said it casual over the phone, talking about someone new they had met. I waited for the twist in my stomach to come, the old familiar wave of regret. But nothing arrived, just the hum of the call, a small nod, and yeah, that's a nice name. I laughed at the story, asked how they were doing, and meant it, no hiding, no playing a game. It's not that I've forgotten or pretend you weren't real. Some nights you still visit my dreams, but daylight is gentler, the scar doesn't burn. It's just skin that remembers the seams. Your name no longer stops me. It brushes my shoulder and goes. No flinch in the chest, no freeze in the step, no rewriting the day into prose. It's only a word now for small syllables that once held the weight of my heart. Your name no longer stops me, and I'm walking again from the start. I'm not over the love, I'm not over the loss, I'm just over the falling apart. The sound of you doesn't pull me offshore. It's a wave I can watch from the shore. Your name no longer stops me. It passes like wind through the trees. I notice, I breathe, then I keep moving forward with something that feels almost like peace. It's quiet, it's fragile, this new kind of steady, but it's mine and it's growing in me. Your name no longer stops me, and maybe one day I'll be completely free. It doesn't stop me. No, it doesn't stop me. Your name just lets me go. dark, and I have learned to trust outside the streetlights dim. One by one they let go. A thin gray line appears where the curtain meets the window. The violin finds me here, one note, then two, then three. It doesn't ask me questions, it just plays the ache in me. Long phrases bending slow like breath against cold glass, each tone a small surrender, letting night walk past. No words for this hour, no need to name the shift. The bow draws across the strings, and something in me lives. Not joy yet, not mourning quite, but the space between where sorrow thins and light begins to The final note hangs trembling, then settles into dawn. Birds test the air with questions. The night is nearly gone. I sit up in the half light. The violin still sings a quiet, patient promise of ordinary things. The edge has turned to gold, the dark has slipped away. I close my eyes and listen to the start of another day. I stopped telling it to leave, stop locking every door. I pulled out the chair at the end of the table and said, you can stay if you don't ask for more. It came in quiet, heavy, cold, dripping. Sat down without a sound. I poured it coffee, black like the hours, and we listened to the clock go round. No more wrestling in the hallway, no more begging it to go. I just let the weight rest on the sofa and felt the room breathe slow. I let the sadness sit beside me, like an old friend who's seen too much. It doesn't speak, I don't explain. We share the silence, gentle touch. No fight tonight, no pushing away, just two tired souls in the lamplight glow. I let the sadness sit beside me, and somehow that's enough to leans his head against the window, watching rain trace down the glass. I play a minor chord that lingers and nods like it remembers that. We don't talk about the leaving or the nights I couldn't breathe. We just exist here in the half-light, two shadows learning how to be. I used to run from every feeling, hide the tears behind a smile, but running only made it louder, so I stopped for a while. I let the sadness sit beside me. It takes up less space than before. It's still heavy, but I'm steady. We both fit on this wooden floor. No pretending it's not hurting, no forcing it to leave. I let the sadness sit beside me, and finally I can grieve. It's not surrender, it's not defeat, it's laying down the war. I don't have to fix it or make it disappear. Just let it be what it's here for. I let the sadness sit beside me, and the room feels wider now. There's space for both the dark and morning. There's room for me somehow. It may stay another season, or quietly walk out one day. But tonight I let the sadness sit beside me, and we're both okay. We're both okay. Sit here a while, stay if you need. I'm not afraid anymore of you or me, or me. I won't rewrite the story to make it less true. I won't call it a mistake or say I never loved you. We laughed in the kitchen at 2 a.m., burned the toast, danced anyway. Your hand fit in mine like it belonged there, and it did for all those days. I don't need to pretend it was perfect, or that the ending doesn't sting, but I refuse to shrink what we had into some small disposable thing. We were real even if we ended, flashing hard and late night truth. Every promise, every fight, every quiet morning was proof that we had been, me and you. I won't bury it in silence, poison it with blame. We were real even if we ended, and I'm grateful for your name. I still smile at the photos, now with longing, now with regret. Just a soft recognition of a chapter I haven't forgotten yet. You taught me how to open. I taught you how to stay. We both learned some things. Break gently in their own necessary way. No villains in the rear view, no heroes left behind. Just two people who tried their hardest with the hearts they had at the time. We were real, even if we ended skin and breath and borrowed time. Every kiss, every tear, every unspoken fear was honest, and it was mine. I don't have to hate the memory to let it go its way. We were real, even if we ended, and that's enough to say. I don't need forever to justify the love. Some things burn bright and brief and still rise high enough to light the rest of the road. We were real, even if we ended, and I carry it without shame. Not a wound, not a warning, but a place where I learned my own name. If I love again tomorrow, it'll be because of this. We were real, even if we ended, and real things still exist. Thank you for being true, even when we couldn't stay. We were real. That's all I need today. Used to keep the scene on loop, every frame in perfect order. Your voice at the door, the way you turn, the silence that came after. I sit in the dark and press play again. Watch the credits never roll. Let the knife twist one more time, just to feel like I had control. Night after night, the same reel spinning. I knew every line by heart. I thought if I watched it enough, I'd finally fall apart. But I don't replay the pain anymore. I let the tape run out of thread. The screen goes black, the room stays quiet, and I leave it there instead. It's still in the drawer if I need it, but I don't reach for it like before. I don't replay the pain anymore, and that's a kind of peace I haven't known. Sometimes it flickers in the corner, a ghost of light across the wall. I notice, I nod, I let it flicker, then I don't answer when it calls. The details are softer at the edges now, colors bleeding into gray. I don't pause on the moment you left, I don't beg the frame to stay. I'm not pretending it didn't happen, or that the hurt was never deep. I'm just done living inside it, done paying the price of keep. I don't replay the pain anymore. I let the silence a chapter that's already written, in a story that still goes on. There's room for new scenes now, room for mornings without war. I don't replay the pain anymore, and slowly I'm becoming more. No more rewind, no more repeat, just forward quietly, finally, finally. The house has been silent for weeks now, a thick kind of hush that pressed on my chest. I move through the rooms like a visitor, afraid to disturb what was left. But tonight when the clock stopped their shouting, and the fridge hummed its slow, steady song, I noticed the air had a different weight, not gone, but no longer wrong. It's still quiet, but the quiet has changed. It's not holding its breath anymore. It's just waiting, patient and strange, like it knows what the silence is for. The quiet feels less heavy, it rests on my shoulders like mist. Not a blanket that smothers, but a veil that lets light through the wrist. I can breathe in the spaces where words used to crowd and confine. The quiet feels less heavy tonight, and I think that means I'm starting to be fine. The shadows still stretch across floorboards, but they don't grab at my ankles like chains. They lie, they're familiar, almost gentle, like old friends who've forgotten my name. I sit by the window, no music, no lights on, just the glow from the street finding cracks. And the stillness doesn't accuse me of all the things I can't take back. It's still empty, but empty has room. There's space where the echoes can fade. The quiet isn't hiding, it isn't a tomb. It's a place where no air can be made. The quiet feels less heavy, it settles like dust in the sun. Soft particles dancing, not burying anyone. I can hear my own heartbeat without it sounding like war. The quiet feels less heavy tonight, and I'm not bracing for more. I thought peace would arrive with a trumpet, or at least with a knock on the door. But it slipped in through vents in the stillness, barefoot across the cold floor. It didn't fix anything broken, it just sat in the room and stayed kind. And slowly the weight started lifting, one feather light breath at a time. The quiet feels less heavy, it's almost a song without sound. A wide open meadow where sorrow can lie down. The quiet feels less heavy tonight, and tomorrow might feel even clearer. Less heavy. Less heavy. The quiet lets me be. I used to sleep with one eye open, waiting for the next wave to crash. Body braced against the quiet, counting every shadow from the past. The bed felt like a battlefield. She's tangled from the fight. A lie that wired and watched for long after turning out the light. But something small has shifted, a softening I can't explain. The fist inside my chest unclench and let the blood move free again. I learned how to rest again, how to lie down without fear. Let the darkness be a blanket, not a place to disappear. My breath slows to the rhythm of a heart that's finally safe. I learned how to rest again, and it feels like being safe. The strings come in so gently, warm like sunlight through the blinds. They wrap around the piano, holding all the broken lines. I don't flinch at every creak now, don't map escape routes in my head. I let the minutes stretch and settle like dust on things long left unsaid. The nights are still imperfect, some dreams still carry your name. But morning finds me softer, less afraid of what became. I learned how to rest again, how to sink into the deep without checking for the bottom, without promising to keep every wound wide open just to prove that it was real. I learned how to rest again, and resting helps me heal. It's not that all the pain is gone, or that I've mastered letting go. It's just that exhaustion taught me there's a limit to what I can hold. So I lay the burden down at dusk and trust the night to guard it well. Sleep comes like an old friend who already knows the stories I won't tell. I learned how to rest again, and the world didn't fall apart. The sky stayed in its place above me, the quiet cradled my heart. I wake up less like a survivor, more like someone still allowed to be gentle with the morning. I learned how to rest again, and I'm grateful I'm here now. Rest again. Rest again, I'm home in my own skin. I opened my mouth this morning to say something small about the weather, and no shadow of you slipped in between the words. No echo riding underneath laughed at a joke on the radio. Full sound, no fracture in the middle. No second voice correcting the punchline. No ghost finishing my sentences. It used to be crowded in here. Every phrase had your handwriting. I spoke carefully, like walking on glass, afraid I'd bleed your name again. You don't live in my voice now. I speak and it's only me. Clear air where you used to sit, breathing the words I couldn't free. No tremor when I say I'm fine. No pause where you used to hide. You don't live in my voice now, and the silence inside is finally mine. I sang in the shower yesterday, an old song we claimed as ours. My throat didn't close on the chorus. My pitch didn't waver or fall. I told a stranger my story without circling back to you. The chapters flowed straight and simple. No footnotes in your point of view. It's not that I never think of you, or that the memories turn to dust. It's just that they don't hijack the sound when I open my mouth to trust. You don't live in my voice now. The tone is steady and warm. No cracks where the hurt used to leak. No storm behind every storm. I say my name and it rings true. No whisper answering back. You don't live in my voice now, and I didn't know how much I needed that. I thought losing you meant losing the way I speak to the world, but I found my own cadence, waiting, quiet, patient, unfolded. Was always here underneath, just buried under your weight. Now I use it without apology, and it doesn't hesitate. You don't live in my voice now. I hear myself and believe every word lands where I send it, no tenant I didn't invite or need. I'm speaking in full sentences with no spaces you occupy. You don't live in my voice now, and for the first time, so do I. My voice, my voice clear, finally. It wasn't a sunrise that fixed me, or some grand revealing of light. It was the way the tea steamed in the cup, and I didn't flinch at the quiet. It was reaching for soul without thinking of the hand that used to pass it, noticing the eye drowning in it. It was hearing a song we loved and letting it play to the end. My body stayed seated, stayed open. No urge to run or pretend. It was laughing at something small, a joke from a stranger in line. The sound came out clean, unapologetic, and it didn't feel like a cry. No thunder, no breakthrough, no moment the skies tore apart. Just tiny unnoticed allowances of heart relearning its part. One breath that didn't catch. One morning I didn't count loss. One ordinary minute where the weight was a little bit less. The heart heals in small moments, in spaces too quiet to name. And the second I didn't correct someone when they got the story wrong about pain, and the way I said I'm okay, and almost believed it was true. These stitches are tiny, invisible, but they're holding me through. Small moments, small moments, small, still I woke up to nothing on the calendar. No plans, no rush, no need to perform. The coffee took longer to brew than usual, and I didn't mind waiting. I let it stay warm. The sun climbed lazy across the kitchen, spilling gold on the floor like spilled time. I sat there and watched it without checking my phone. For once, the stillness felt like mine. I used to fill every empty minute with noise, with proof I was moving ahead, but hurry just left me more hollow. So I'm trying something different instead. I trust the slow days, the ones that don't shout or demand. They teach me in whispers, hold me with gentle hands. Nothing dramatic is happening, but something quiet is growing inside. I trust the slow days, they're carrying me to the other side. music, just footsteps and wind. Let thoughts come and go like the clouds. Some heavy, some light, some nameless and drifting. None of them asked to be figured out. The world kept on turning without my pushing, and somehow it didn't fall apart. I breathed in the ordinary air of a Tuesday and felt it settle soft in my heart. I'm learning that healing isn't a race, that peace doesn't arrive with a sign. It moves at the pace of a river in winter, slow, steady, patient and kind. I trust the slow days, the gray ones, the soft ones, the long, the stitching the pieces. Where hurry pulled them wrong. I don't need a breakthrough today, just this quiet rhythm inside. I trust the slow days, they're teaching me how to abide. I don't have to earn the tomorrow by burning through every today. Some seasons are meant for becoming in the smallest, slowest way. I trust the slow days. I lay down my hurry and fear, let life do its work. In the spaces I finally leave clear, the light comes in increments. The heart opens line by line, and I trust the slow days. And I'm starting to trust that I'll be just fine. Slow days, slow days, I trust you. I stay. I used to speak in sharp edges, every mistake a verdict read aloud. A catalog of failures in the mirror and punish them until they bow. My voice was judge and jury, relentless in the quiet hours, replaying every stumble like evidence of broken powers. But lately I've been listening to the tone beneath the words, and I notice how it hurt me more than anyone ever heard. I'm softer with myself now. The sentences are gentle, slow. I let the tears fall where they need to, without calling them a show. I cradle all the tender places I used to push away. I'm softer with myself now, and it's okay to feel this way. I burn the list of should have, let the ashes cool into the night. I don't demand perfection from a heart that's still in flight. When I falter, I don't scold now, I just breathe and say it's fine. You're human, you're still learning, and this body is mine, is mine. It's not that I've stopped trying or that I've settled into less. It's just that love has entered myself now. I speak like I would to a child, lost and tired and trying with a voice that's gentle, mild. I forgive the days I falter, I forgive the nights I cry. I'm softer with myself now, and I'm learning not to ask why. I don't have to earn the kindness, I don't have to prove I'm worth the grace. It's already here inside me, in the lines upon my face, in the rise and fall of breathing, in the quiet after storm. I deserve the same compassion I've been giving everyone. I'm softer with myself now. The edges have worn smooth with time. I hold the hurt without contempt and let the healing climb. I'm still becoming, still unfolding, still allowed to make mistakes. I'm softer with myself now, and that softness is what saves with myself. Finally softer. I don't need words tonight. The strings are saying everything. They curve around the edges of the places that still sting. Slow phrases, golden patient, rising, falling, never rush. Each note a quiet promise that the storm inside, voice close. I feel it in my shoulders, the tension letting go. The bow draws steady across the strings, and something in me follows slow. No fight left in the silence, no fear behind the dark. Just the violin repeating a lullaby for this tired heart. through your cycle and settles into rest. A quiet, steady cadence, like a hand against my chest. I close my eyes and listen. The calm is real, not far. It lives inside the music, inside this calmer heart. For a calmer heart, for a calmer heart, still beating, still soft, still here. I used to chase the reasons down every winding hall, demanding why the sky broke, why we rose just to fall. I mapped the hurt in detail, kept notebooks full of proof, searched for the hidden pattern, the single flawless truth. But the questions only echoed louder in the empty room, and the more I tried to hold them, the heavier they grew. I don't need to understand everything to let the morning come. I don't need the final answer to lay the burden down. The world keeps turning gently without my clenched design. I don't need to understand everything. And somehow that feels kind. Watch the leaves surrender without a fight or a plan. They trust the wind to take them. I'm learning how to stand. The river doesn't question the shape of every stone. It finds its way around them and carves its path alone. I'm loosening my fingers from the edges of control, letting mystery stay mystery, letting fragments stay whole. I don't need to understand everything to feel the quiet grow. I don't need to solve the silence to know what I need to know. Some things live beyond explaining, some truths are soft and blind. I don't need to understand everything. And peace is what I find. Not knowing isn't failing, not knowing isn't weak. It's space for something larger than the answers I used to seek. I breathe into the open, I rest inside the gray. The heart can't hold the questions without needing them answered today. I don't need to understand everything, the stars still burn above. I don't need to trace the breaking to deserve another love. understand everything. I just breathe and stay. I saw a couple on the corner, hands tangled, laughing in the cold. My heart did something quiet, it watched instead of turning old. No twist inside my ribs this time, no echo of the final fight. Just a soft familiar flutter, like recognizing distant light. I waited for the panic, the old reflex to pull away, but the fear stayed sleeping. It didn't wake up today. Love doesn't hurt like it used to. The edges aren't as sharp or deep. I can't look at it without bleeding. I can't feel it without the need to flee. It's still a risk, I know that, but the terror's lost its hold. Love doesn't hurt like it used to, and I'm not afraid of growing old. Someone smiled at me on the subway, a stranger's kindness, nothing more. I smiled back without calculating what I lose if I open the door. The thought of maybe someday doesn't feel like stepping on a mine. It feels like walking barefoot on grass that's warm and kind. I'm not saying I'm ready or that the scars have disappeared, but the flinch is getting quieter, the caution less severe. Love doesn't hurt like it used to. It whispers now instead of screams. I can't hear the possibility without drowning in the dreams that ended in the wreckage I once thought was guaranteed. Love doesn't hurt like it used to, and that's enough for me. I don't need promises of forever to believe in gentle hands. I just need to know the falling won't always mean a crash land. The heart remembers how to open one careful inch at a time, and fear is learning how to sit in the back instead of drive. Love doesn't hurt like it used to. It's softer on the skin somehow. I can stand here in the open without bracing for the fallout. There's room again for wonder, room again to trust the new. Love doesn't hurt like it used to, and maybe that means I'm healing too. Doesn't hurt like it used to. No, it doesn't. Not like it used to fill the air with anything, music bleeding from the speakers, TV murmuring in the corner, my own voice rehearsing old fears. The quiet felt like accusation, a room too honest to bear. I'd pace or scroll or call someone just to prove I wasn't there. But slowly I stopped running, stopped treating stillness like a threat. I let the sound of nothing settle, and it didn't break me yet. I can sit in silence now, without reaching for escape. The hush doesn't swallow me, it holds me in its shape. No need to speak or justify, no need to drown the dark. I can sit in silence now and feel the quiet spark. Soft against the wall, a rhythm I no longer fight. The fridge hums a slow, steady prayer, and the night feels almost kind. Thoughts come drifting like slow clouds, I watch them pass without a name. They don't demand an answer, and I don't feel the same old shame. It's not empty anymore, it's spacious, wide and clear. There's room for all the feeling without the weight of fear. I can sit in silence now, the air is gentle on my skin. No ghosts knocking at the edges, no war beneath the din. I breathe and it breathes with me, a soft, unbroken flow. I can sit in silence now and finally let it hold. I used to think the quiet meant I was alone with all the ache, but stillness showed me something else, a place where I don't have to break. It's safe here in the nothing, it's tender, it's alive. The silence is an absence, it's where the soul arrives. I can sit in silence now, and it feels like coming home. No longer bracing for the fall, no longer overthrown. The quiet wraps around me like mercy I've allowed. I can sit in silence now I've learned to walk without the limp, to smile without the strain. I can speak of you in past tense without the catch of pain. The days are steadier beneath me, the nights don't shake the bed. I've gathered up the pieces and carried them ahead. But don't mistake the quiet for armor thick and cold. Some places never harden, some stories stay untold. My heart is still tender, soft in the hidden parts, not broken, not bitter, just open, just scarred. It bruises at a gentle word, it flinches at a touch. My heart is still tender, and that's not weakness, it's proof I love that much. The sunlight in the windows, I let the music play. I mean new eyes without suspicion, I give myself away in small and careful measures. I trust the world again, but late at night I feel it, the ache beneath the skin. I'm stronger than I was, but strength is not the same as closing off the feeling or pretending I'm unchanged. My heart is still tender, it weeps at certain songs, it softens when I'm kind, it trembles when I'm wrong, carries every yes I gave, every goodbye I meant. My heart is still tender, and I no longer resent. I thought healing meant becoming stone against the storm, but maybe it's just learning to stay soft and still be warm, to hold the hurt without contempt, to let the tears fall free. A tender heart is not a flaw, it's the bravest part of me. My heart is still tender, and I'm learning to be proud. It opens when it could stay shut, it speaks when it could be loud. With silence, with defenses, it chooses to believe. My heart is still tender, and that's how I know I'm still capable of loving, of living, of me. Still tender, still tender, still here, still here. Carry the sadness like a stone in my coat. Heavy, cold, familiar against my ribs. I walked with it daily, let it name every road. It whispered the script of how the story ends. I fed it with questions when nights left unlit. I wore it like weather, I could not run. It shaped every shadow, it colored my voice. It lived in the spaces where hope had begun. And I thought it would always be part of the weight, the price of having love so deep. But something inside me refused to believe that darkness was all I could keep. I carried the sadness until it became light, until the stone wore smooth in my hand, until the ache turned to glow in the long quiet night. And I finally began to understand that sorrow and radiance are made of one thread, woven through every tear I cried. I carried the sadness until it became light, and the light stayed inside. It didn't vanish in some sudden dawn. No angel arrived to lift it away. It changed in the carrying, mile after mile, in the small, stubborn choice to stay. I held it up to the cracks in the curtain, let morning examine its shape. I spoke to it softly, stopped calling it burden, and watched as it started to break into something warmer, something translucent, something that didn't pull me down. A lantern I fashioned from all I had lost, a quiet, unbreakable crown. Transformation meant leaving it behind, but it asked me to walk through the fire, to hold what had hurt me until it refined into something steady and higher. I carried the sadness until it became light, until the weight turned to wings on my chest, until the grief sang in harmonies bright and laid every shadow to rest. It didn't erase what the loving had cost, but it honored the depth of the scar. I carried the sadness until it became light, and the light is who we are. This is a secret the night tried to teach while I fought to outrun the pain. Nothing is wasted, no tear out of reach. Every wound can become window pane. I carried it, carried it, carried it long through the dark where I thought I would die. In the darkness surrendered and turned into song, a soft endless lullaby. I carried the sadness until it became light. It lives in my voice, in my hands, in my sight. No longer a storm, no longer a fight, but a flame that will never burn. I carried the sadness until it became light, and the light is the love we keep even after the night. still here, still moonlight. The sky turned from me to watercolor, slow bleed of rose at the edge. I sat on the floor where the night left me, too tired to move, too alive to pledge anything more than just breathing. One more ordinary dawn. I waited for collapse to claim me, but the collapse never came on. The birds started testing the silence. Small questions hung in the air. I listened without expectation, without the old weight of despair. My hands were still shaking a little, but steady enough to hold tea. The steam rose like proof of continuing, a small miracle granted to me. I didn't win any battles, I didn't conquer the grief. I just stayed through the longest hours, and morning arrived like relief. No trumpet, no banner, no thunder, just a light finding cracks in the blind, and me still here in the middle, a little more gentle, a little more kind. Morning found me still standing, not triumphant, not unbroken, not whole, but standing with dirt on my knees and light in my soul. The night did its worst and it passed. The day doesn't ask me to prove. Morning found me still standing, and standing feels like enough. Still standing, still morning found me still here, still here, still